All right, what's up, guys? Stan here. This is episode 6 of Origin Story. Today I have with me Kristin Harper, founder of Harper Consultancy. So I'm going to let him quickly introduce himself and then we're going to jump straight into it.
Cool. Hey, as Stanley said, as Kristin Harper, I'm the founder and director of Harper Consultancy. So with my business, what I do is I help my customers generate more sales. So I've been in sales for about 15 years, so something I'm pretty passionate about, and I guess over that time, I see a lot of businesses that's something that they struggle with. So what I've done is I've created an offering where I've got about 5 different service offerings. So around digital lead generation, sales consulting, sales coaching. What else we got? We've got CRM as well.
Yeah.
So what I've done is to help me scale myself, is I've got about 3 key strategic partnerships to help, especially around that digital side. Because as I started growing the business, one person can only do so much. So,
sure.
I've got a number of relationships of people I've been working with for a number of years. And the other one is sales recruitment as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And what I've done is I've just put sort of my twist onto it.
Yep.
And, try to differentiate it from others in the market, because like any market, all pretty competitive.
Yep.
And it's all about trying to differentiate yourself.
Having that edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right. So usually in these podcasts, I start back before the business started. But what I'd like to do here is go back even further, because I know that you've had similar journey to myself through growing up in New Zealand, playing league and all those things, and coming from Christchurch and moving away and doing all that stuff. So I'd like to hear the full story. Yeah. I've heard bits and pieces of it. So maybe what I'd like to do is go back to the moment you left Christchurch or somewhere around there before. I know you went to Sydney and things. So what was life like then, and why did you start to make plans to move on?
Yeah. Actually, what I'll do is I'll probably take you back a wee bit further than that and actually give you a bit more context.
Perfect.
So grew up in Canterbury, got a awesome family, brother and sister.
Yeah.
And of Ngāi Tahu descent. So, had a pretty good upbringing. Used to play league in that when I was a wee bit younger. Also liked to party as well, so I could have done better in the league. But anyway, back then, when I left school, I ended up getting into chefing. So I always wanted to be a chef when I grew up, and did that for about 3 years, and then I hated that because I was doing shift work and all that. And then, from there, I was pretty passionate about my league. So, played a bit of footy, and then from there, moved over to Australia for about 4 years. Yeah. Had a really good time over in Sydney, and then a lot of our mates moved over, as you appreciate, when you lived over there. So good times. And then from there, I had a couple of years over in London as well. Okay. So my career's really been going from hospitality, chef and hospitality, cafe management. Over in London, I was an area manager for about 8 cafe and area stores over there. Cool. And that was interesting, going from Sydney to London, where most of my staff were Italian, French, not Yugoslavian, but Lithuanian. Yeah. They've never they heard the English accent, but never a Kiwi accent. So when I spoke, I'd always have that look in their face like, Kristin, I don't understand you. So after London, I moved back home and got back into hospitality for about 3 months, and just hated it. Yeah. And somebody told me about account management and sales, and from there, an opportunity to come up to either get into radio sales through one of my clients across the road, or into selling photocopiers. Yeah. When I first heard about the copiers stuff, I'm like, faxes and photocopiers? I'm like, man, I've never... Yeah. So that's just random. But it's really weird how that sort of worked out, as I ended up having a meeting with companies. Back then it was called Ubix, so one of the top players, met the whole team, saw all the BMWs and Audis in the car park, and I thought, I can do this. This will be easy, Yeah. And it was funny. It took me about 3 months to get the role, but it was all about getting the right fit for the team, and got to know all the sales guys. And it was a pretty tough, sort of introduction. The first day that I started, they were like, "We're going out cold calling," and I'm like, "What's this cold calling shit?" No, nobody told me about this. It was never me. And that first day we all went out. We actually literally knocked on doors. And it was awkward, eh? Yeah, I'm pretty confident, but I remember going into one of the first door knocks that I had to do by myself, and I went in and I'm like, "Hi, Kristin from Ubix," and I don't know who was more awkward, them or me. And so it was Yeah, it was a really, really tough industry to learn in, from a sales point of view. But I worked with some of the best in the industry as well, and I had a lot of good mentors there and learned from them. And I really went from a sales support to really just sort of owning my market.
Cool.
And that's sort of really where I applied my trade and learned about sales.
Yeah.
We're talking from negotiating deals, going up against some of the best people in the industry, the competitiveness. But it's pretty good money. So I went from making bugger all to making doing pretty well. So and then from there, when the earthquakes happened, I was always wanting to go either back to Sydney or I was always thinking about moving up to Auckland. So after that event had happened, I think like most people gave me a bit of a kick up the arse to just sort of make the most of life. And so about 6 months after the earthquakes, decided to move to Auckland.
Okay.
And then from there, went to a competitor. Had about 6 months with them. Hated it. It was really interesting going from a culture of a small team that I worked with for a long time, where everybody helps everybody out, to I guess you could call it a Wolf of Wall Street sort of type environment. And I can back myself all day, every day, but it just wasn't the environment that was right for me. So it was just. That's when I sort of started the first business. It was just because I didn't like this. I thought I'm good at sales. I'll give that a go. So everything's sort of been trial by fire, but it's just learn as you go. You know how it goes.
So let me go back again. So I want to dig into your reasons for going to Sydney and what drove that decision, because I know for me going to Gold Coast, it was a lot about getting, I had nothing planned in New Zealand, and I was looking for something, and I was trying to find something. What was it for you?
It's funny because actually one of my best mates, Kristin Harper, we went to high school together, and then when I finished up chefing, I, funnily enough, started working at Ernest Adams packing pies, and then started working in the store, become the store supervisor. And one day my bro turns up, and I'm, what are you doing here? He goes, we're going to be working together. And so we worked together for about a year, and we just decided one day, let's move to Sydney because we're just a bit bored. In Christchurch, didn't have a lot going on, and we're like early 20s, so we're like, let's just go and have some fun. So from there, we decided to move to Sydney. Didn't really have any plan for when we went over there. And then, a couple of us boys moved over, a lot of the boys we played league with, and then over that sort of 2 years, we had probably about 20 of the boys move over. So we had a really big Papanui League contingent living over in Sydney. Then my brother moved over, just a lot of other guys from Christchurch. So we had a really big support network there.
Cool.
Probably a big party network as well. So I think a lot of it was really just sort of that boredom, and coming over to Sydney, it was just going from a small, from Christchurch to Sydney. It was just like, wow. I think the thing I loved about Sydney is that nobody gives a shit. Whereas Christchurch is sort of quite insular, and everybody's in your business. Whereas in Sydney, I just found nobody cares what you're doing, but there's a lot of opportunity. And when I moved over there, just cool jobs just fell into my lap, and good money. Met a lot of cool people, had a lot of really cool experiences there for the Sydney Olympics.
Cool.
So had some really cool times over there as well. Some really memorable times.
And that when you first got there, what was that like? I know you had this big support network on the league boys, but you've just moved away from hometown for the first time. You're early 20s. What was that like going to this new country?
It was tough. It was. Once I got settled in, it was good, but it was tough because when I first got over there, I was getting into a couple of sort of random sort of jobs, and I was really unsettled because I was living with one of the boys, and then living with another friend, and I was just sort of moving around, and it was really unsettling. So it probably took me a good 4 or 5 months to just get settled in. And leaving family and all that was tough. Leaving an exit time and all that. Friends and family, it was really tough because I'm pretty close to my family. And but I was just like, if I don't do this now, I'll never do it. And I'll regret it. I've never been one to sit there and sort of wait for shit to happen.
And so in that time when you're missing family and stuff, was there any moment where you thought, shit, what am I doing here?
Absolutely.
And how did you process that? How did you go through that, Tyson?
Shit, that's such a long name. We're talking 20 years ago. I don't know. I was just like, buddy, just keep busy. Just keep, hanging out with my friends, and just keep really focused on what was in front of me, rather than think about too much about home. Because I knew if I went home, I would have regretted it. So I just sort of, I'm pretty stubborn. I've always been really stubborn. If I put my mind to something, then I want to make it work, no matter how long it takes. So it was just that perseverance, and just getting into a good job and all that as well. I ended up managing a little cafe in Darling Harbour. I'd never managed a cafe before. I had internet. This is when the internet first became big. I didn't know how to use a computer. I just blanked my way into it, and when a lot of my clients come in, I just built relationships. And if somebody had come in, I'd go to somebody else, hey, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to find a web address? Like stuff like that's how simple it was back then. But that's how I learned. It was, for me, it was just all about relationships. So
which I guess you've carried on to the rest of your career.
So I think from a sales point of view, I think the hospitality backgrounds really help within sales, which I think obviously your background's in hotels as well. So
absolutely, it's huge.
And it's interesting because I see that over the years going to different restaurants, and I'm not judgmental, but I really pick up on stuff because I'm always doing like mystery shoppers, because it's stuff that you're always looking, it's dirty, and they didn't say hello, and they gave me eye contact but they never come back, and I'm like, that shit pisses me off. So that's something even if I go into restaurants now, I'm still like
it almost ruins the dining experience sometimes. We do the same. Especially because my partner was in hotels too, so it's both of us just picking it apart.
Look, it's got a bit of smudge on the glass here. Let's just.
So league. Tell me about league. So you were playing in Christchurch. Did you play in Sydney as well?
I played when I first got over to Sydney, but it was just really more, just
casual.
Just sort of casual stuff out at sort of Parramatta, then down at Bondi. But honestly, with that crew over there, I was more just partying, and there's always different things happening, and so I started getting into it, but just sort of lost interest.
And so in Christchurch, when you're playing that footy, what was your goals with footy? Was it always just like most Kiwi boys just playing footy, or was it?
No, look, I actually wanted to get into like rep size and all that, and we had a wee bit of success, played like premiers and that, and Premier B's won a couple of grand finals, and I wasn't the biggest guy, like in the when I was playing Premiers, I was probably the smallest in the whole grade. But I was probably one of the quickest as well. And I'd always run 100 miles an hour. But generally with growing up with my league, I'd always have 4 years on, a couple of years off, 4 years on, a couple of years off. So I was never really overly committed as well. Like I did a lot of training, but I also did a lot of partying in that as well. So you see a wee bit of a theme here.
Bit of partying. And so did you ever have any regrets for not taking that further, or was it just always just a bit more of a hobby?
I would have liked to, but again, I'm not going to look back and shit and regret it as well. Like I made that conscious decision to do what I've done, and I've had fun. I don't want to look back on my life and just regret shit. I'd like to take it further, absolutely. But like it is what it is. I don't think too much about it.
Cool. Okay, so now you got into sales. You got the sales career cruising along. What made you, what was that inciting incident, I suppose, that said to you, let's do this on my own. Let's go out, start a business, let's take that leap.
Man, I was having a think about that. I actually know it's leadership. So for a few organisations that I've worked with, it's the sales leadership in there I don't agree with. So when I first moved up, and I worked for this company for about 6 months, I just hated it. I guess compared to what I was used to, what I saw, and the sales team, if the people were fighting and stuff like that, the management would just sort of just not say anything about it. And I'm like, it just didn't really sit well with me when I was in this role. 12 people had come and gone within that 6 months that I was there. And so it was an environment that I wanted to be in, and I was just like, you know what, I'm good at sales. I actually went over on a course over in Fiji. Just actually with quite a well-known Australian speaker, and it's called Wealth Warrior. And over there, I actually decided to start a business. I made some pretty big decisions there. And we actually taped it. I actually found this video the other day of, it's probably about 9 years ago, of when I actually made that decision to actually start the business. So
that's awesome.
Did that and come back and said I'm resigning, and started my business. And it was quite funny because I was getting a bit of shit from the management at that time. What are you doing? Where are you going? You're taking my stuff. I'm like, it's pretty staunch, but I might have to tell you anything. not going to be doing what I'm doing right here. I'm not going to be selling copies or whatever or taking the staff. If staff want to leave, then it's on their own backs.
Yeah.
So, so from there I started my first consultancy.
Yep.
That was around, sales coaching, help companies generate sales. But it was really tough because I just moved to Auckland, so I had no network whatsoever. I actually really had no plan because I just decided it and then moved and got onto it. An old colleague of mine ended up going into partnership, and his brother had a company over in Australia, so we set up the New Zealand sales arm. Okay. Probably for about the first 6 months to about a year, we actually set that up in New Zealand for them and started that side of it. It was still pretty tough because it was a brand new offering to the market. Yeah. And, helping people source product and take it over to China because, Grant's brother has got a number of contacts and speaks Chinese. So it was really interesting learning about that industry. We become their sales arm. Yeah. And then when we finished up with that, what I did over that time was I've been working on a couple of networks. Yeah. Because one thing I've done in my previous roles is I identify networks that I guess essentially have my audience and just grow relationships with them. Okay. So in that time, I built a relationship with Te Puni Kokiri, which is a Maori organisation that helps, or a Maori government organisation that helps Maori business owners with, capability, with, networking opportunities, with mentorship. So I had a really good mentor, Hida Hudson. So what he does, he helped me do the financials for my company, and then from there he started giving me people to work with. Okay. So I had a few wee successes out of that. One of my clients had got his product onto in New Zealand. Yeah. Okay. So, but again, I was just hustling. Yeah. Just hustling to bring on work, and so I was I learnt a lot. Yeah. Mum always mum and dad always give me a hard time about it because I moved up to Auckland with about 50 grand in my bank. Oh yeah. And it was always going to be for a house, and I invested that money in myself. Yeah. So sorry, Mum. So I keep saying I said it's me investing in myself, and I never regret that. Yeah. And we've finally got the house now. 6-7 years later. So if you're going to watch this, but it was then I put my money into myself and learned. So it's so a lot of cool things had happened, but it was pretty tough. Yeah. Okay. And when you came up, were you with your partner already? Were you on your own? No, I was on my own. How was that? I know you wanted to move because of the earthquakes and things, but you've already done it once before. Did that decision to move again become easier, or what? Yeah, it became easier because I was coming up into an industry that I knew. Yep. The company that I was going to already had a lot of friends already working there. I've got family. I've got a lot of family up in Auckland. I've got friends up in Auckland as well. So after the earthquakes, there's quite a lot of people that actually moved up here. Yeah. One of the boys that moved to Sydney with Sean and Kerry, they've been living up here. So I've had a pretty good network up here anyway. Okay. Yeah. So when I moved up, I just got into a flat with some people that I didn't know, and so it was definitely easier than Sydney because I already had a role that I was coming into. It was pretty well paying. Yeah. But it still wasn't easy, but it was definitely easier than the first time because I'd had established relationships and networks and sort of a bit of a plan as well. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so now you're here, you've got your own consultancy. What happened in that period of time? Because with that consultancy, what was that journey like, and was there any big failures that you had during it? I wouldn't put it as failures. There'd be learnings. Cool. Yeah, I'm very mindful of the words I tell myself as well, because people say fail quick and all this shit, but I'm just just learn from it. Yeah. Because if you don't learn the first time, you keep doing the same shit, then that's a failure in my mind anyway. Yeah. So after our first client, that was pretty tough to get things up and going, and then started just sort of hustling to find clients. So I'd actually from there I'd move. I was working from home, and I'd move my business into a mate's gym. Okay. And that really helped me set up a really good network. So a mate of mine, Joe Nafahu, owns a gym, Ludus Magnus. And for me, that actually really helped me build a lot of friendships. Yeah. A really good network. Yeah. So from that point of view, it really, really made things easier up here because it just got me into different areas that I'd never considered, like did a wee bit of bloody acting and just did stuff I'd never do. And friendships that I built out of there I've got now, and there's business networks that I've got through out of that as well.
Yeah.
So I think as things started getting a wee bit harder and I started running out of money, it's one thing I say to my clients, when sales is going really well, you're in that energy where you tend to attract a lot of opportunities because you're just in that space.
Yeah.
But when stuff gets really hard, your energy changes and you start getting that anxiety and that tension, and people sniff that a mile away.
Yeah.
Even if you're the best salesman in the world and you've got that bloody cool shit going on, people see that shit in your eyes. And I was sort of getting to that point where it was getting harder, but I'm so stubborn I didn't want to go and get a job. I was like, buddy, I've just got to keep going and make this happen.
Yeah.
And the longer that went on, I was just you start losing confidence as well.
Yes.
And even when opportunities were coming up, I went taking them, and then I was working with people I really shouldn't be working with.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest learnings, I think, is actually taking on the type of clients that weren't really right for me and doing shit that I didn't really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were those decisions money based? Is that why, or just not having?
I probably one of the biggest things was lack of clarity.
Okay.
Because I'd gone from a role into a business and I actually didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the biggest learnings was lack of clarity.
Okay.
And not understanding what my offering was. So if I'm trying to sell it to anybody, it's really hard because I'm not clear in my head of what it is. So if you're trying to sell something and you don't know what it is, and then people aren't going to get it. Yeah. When in the sales roles that I've been in, there's been an established brand, an established product. It's easy because you've got that, having that brand recognition makes all the difference.
Yes.
I've gone from working with startups where people do not know the product at all, know the name, and then having a funny name is tough, man. Yeah. Whereas I've gone to the likes of TVNZ, where as you say the name, people want to meet with you. So that brand recognition is absolutely everything as well.
Yeah.
I know some people say with startups, and if you don't have any marketing generation or anything like that, then shit can be pretty tough.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a product that is or service that's adding a shitload of value, so, solving some major problems, then it can be pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I think the other big learning for me is I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody because I felt like a failure.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't want to, there's a few people that were close to me that I knew. I'm not saying wanted me to fail, but and I just didn't want to tell anybody. I felt stink about it.
Yeah.
And then because I felt that way, I didn't want to tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
And when that was happening, I was just drinking more. That's the way I cope with it. Is just my coping mechanism was just drinking and not telling anybody about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's press on that a little bit more. So around the drinking and I guess that mental state that you're in. Firstly, tell me, how deep did it get? Like, how for you, are you ready to talk about that yet? Is that something you've mastered, or is it still something you're working through?
I guess I'm going to be talking about it. Yeah. Like, no, I have worked through a lot of that, and so absolutely. Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
I knew you were going to press on this, so.
So, tell me about how deep did it get? How down was it?
Oh, look, it got to a point where the harder the business got, now taking a contract role with back in the industry with the business where I sort of went back to quite a junior sort of a role and just sort of working, just things that weren't just right for me. Yeah. And I started getting, just going out and just getting fucked up, just getting pretty wasted in that, and that was sort of my way of just coping with it. Yeah. And just as you know, just getting into stupid shit. Yeah. And I just had a few probably majors that had happened, and that made me sort of reevaluate stuff. And I got into a relationship, and I was just really shitty in that relationship for a few months because I was all over the show. Yeah. And at that time it was just go see somebody about it. Yeah. So because I was getting what I know now is sort of anxiety. So when I was going through that work, I didn't know what was going on. And I know, they're talking about all the mental health and all that now. This is, I guess, back then when that wasn't really spoken about. And being a staunch, well, sometimes staunch, male, I was like, buddy, I didn't know what was going on. I was just feeling like short of breath, and I was feeling upset. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Yeah. And I had a chat to my business partner one day, and just about that he started crying, and fucking he was like, what's going on? I said, fuck, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, I don't know what's going on. And you end up going to see somebody about it, and it was really interesting. They sort of, she worked out within 20 minutes what was going on, where it stemmed from, and to why I've been doing what I've been doing, and all this stuff. And that was a real light bulb moment for me. Yeah. And why I'd been drinking, all that she sort of unpackaged it pretty quickly. Yeah. And had a few more sessions. Seeing this lady Sandra. So I went and saw a counsellor. Yeah. Best thing I could have done. Yeah. And for me, I'm pretty resilient. I'm pretty open to talking about this sort of stuff, but I know a lot of people aren't. Yeah. Went and saw her, and look, it was amazing. She unpacked shit real quick. Yeah. Even 20 minutes into it, I'm like, fuck, you're good. I was, man. I was just like, buddy, you're good, man. You're really, like, it's, because where a lot of it stems back from is, I've got an older brother and younger sister, and our real father left us when my brother was about 3 and I was just born. Yeah. So mum brought us up, for the first year or so, and then she got remarried. So when mum remarried, but he's always been a dad. But I never thought that and our real father's never stayed in contact. I never thought that it affected me at all, and obviously it's come to find out that it's actually probably had a most profound effect on me my whole life. Yeah. I didn't actually realise that. Because, growing up, me and my brother, we've always been really staunch with mum, because there's always that fuck you dad, a real father, for sort of leaving us and never wanting that relationship. And when our grandfather died, I saw a real father then. I'd seen him for years, and I knew it was him. Yeah. We just said hi and all that. Brother just didn't want to borrow him. So it was really interesting, because what Sandra did, she just broke everything down. She broke the relationship between me and my brother down, and our personalities, the way that we are, the dynamics, and she was really spot on. Yeah. And we're talking about the drinking. There's always that you're not good enough, and it sort of stems back from that. And there's always been that, and that's why over the years, even haven't had a lot of good relationships and all that shit. Yeah. Because I've been just getting myself into doing dumb shit. So a lot of that it all stems back to that. Yeah. So and that sort of build up to that anxiety, especially coming under 40. Yeah. Yes, I'm at 40. Man, it was a really big learning for me. Yeah. So, once I started seeing her, she got me into mind. I don't want to take any drugs from me, that sort of shit. Yeah. That's when I got into mindfulness, meditation. I never thought I'd be the sort of person that would do that, but I still do it now. Yeah, cool. And if I don't do it, then plays on you. It sort of plays on me. And talking to my brother and some really good mates about it after this, I was actually happy to talk to them. I thought, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to talk to my friends about it. And the more I started sharing this with my brother and a lot of other friends, they were like, oh, cool. This is, because we had our uncle committed suicide, after the earthquakes as well. And, I've just sort of seen things with friends and stuff like that. And, I can sort of identify, I see it in my friends and other people, if they're going through shit, I can see it pretty quickly, because I know that's sort of what I went through. So, man, that was the biggest learning for me. And then, so I started doing that, and I still was drinking a wee bit. And then the time where I really knew I had to change is, we went to the Auckland Nights. Okay. Got really fucked up, really badly. Left a friend's party, woke up in hospital, and don't know what had happened. So all I know is I got king hit. Had a massive hole in the back of my head. Yeah. I was up in hospital. I got staples in the back of my head. Yeah. And that was like where I was sorting shit out. Yeah. Because for about 4 months, every time I'd lay my head down, I'd get dizzy. Like it was quite bad. Yeah. Okay. So man. After that, I was just like, fucking, you just need to sort your shit out. Yeah. So what did you do? Sort my shit out.
What process did you take to help do that?
It was just not going out. Like a lot of the boys I hung out with, we all drank a lot and all that. And when I was going through that, I actually started sharing that with my friends, because I know they were going through the same shit. But their journey's their journey, mine was mine, and I just had to put myself away from. Yeah. I had to put myself away from all of that, so I stayed home. Yeah. Okay. Like I still drank a wee bit, but nothing like that. I still had a bottle of wine at home every now and then, but I wasn't going out till 2-3 in the morning and get fucked up. And like it was just staying home, looking after myself, training, meditating, and just getting all the bad people out of my life. I went through just friendships and flatmates that had just sort of taken advantage.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just get myself away from all of that. So once I started getting into that meditation, I started the whole thing about the meditation is actually looking after yourself and loving yourself. And once I started doing that, that's when I met my partner Mel. Yeah, okay. And Mel and I've been together ever since. Yeah, cool. And she's thank God she's never seen that. She's never seen that other side of me. She's never seen that other person as the boys like. Yeah. So that's when I met Mel, because after going through all of that and then just going through that mindfulness and just looking after myself, loving myself, that's when I was like, I ain't good enough. And so and it's just gone from there. It's just gone from strength to strength. I've been together for about 4 or 5 years, I think. Yep. So bought a house last year. We've got a wee boy, Bodie, which he's cool. And man, awesome. Cool. Mel's awesome, and Bodie's cool. And so really, really happy. But it's been a wee bit of a journey to get there. But that's the. And it's the same with the business as well, because even with the roles that I've done, even with the first business, a lot of what I was doing, went back to not good enough and all that sort of shit. So, this time around it's been completely different. Because I know what the failings were last time. I got myself a mentor at the end of last year to help me with the model of the business. I'm very clear on where I need the help and how I can grow the business and why it's different. It's just, it's like anything. It's just going to take time. And there are things that are working really well, and there are a lot of learnings. But definitely been a wee bit of a journey. But through that, the biggest turning point was seeing a counsellor and just sorting the shit out.
Awesome. And so I want to go back to...
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. I want to go back to how you brought it up. You said you're talking to your brother and friends and things like that. How was it approaching that subject? Was it a full open account, like kind of what you've just done? Or were you guarded? Have you learned to be more open? How did that journey go?
I was pretty open about it, because after the head knock, I was just like, I've gone to, and probably the hardest one I was talked to was my brother about it, because it stems back to real dad and all that. And I know, but I was just open about it. Because I got to the point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to talk about it because, and I'm talking to my good friends about it as well. People that are close to me, so it's not something that I talk to everybody about. Even the meditation, I don't tell too many people about it. Obviously, most people are going to know about it now, but I don't care. It's been good for me. It's helped me, and everybody has their own journey. But I'm sharing it with my friends, with my family, because if I can help them through my journey, then So afterwards, I was pretty open about it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and so
I got a better response than I thought I would. I thought it'd be quite judgmental. But it was actually probably quite the opposite. A few of my brother and my close mates were like, that's thank you for sharing all that sort of stuff. So it's really interesting even seeing now. You see a lot of it on the media and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying it's a big topic right now, but it's something that is, I guess, a lot more people are a lot more open to talking about it. It's a lot more, there's a lot more males, especially Maori and Pacificans. So that's something. That's why I want to talk about it. Because fuck it, like if we can just be open, talk about it. Because generally, I think sort of a lot of males are just really staunch and
So with that, talking about it more and more, has any of that turned into others being able to open up to you? Have you found that connection?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And how has that been as starting that conversation? What has that been as part of your healing as well?
I guess I haven't really thought about it too much. I've seen with friends and family, if something comes up, I'll just talk about it. Now, it's not that I push anything on somebody. It'll be like, because I guess what I've learned in sales over the years, I'm very mindful about how I approach things, very tactful about how I approach things, but I'm very upfront as well. I'm not, too, very forward and how because I think there's no way to sort of get around that. But just if things come up, friends or whatever, then I'm actually happy to say something, but I'm just very mindful in the way that I approach it with certain different individuals. Whether it's somebody that's really closed off, I'll just talk about what I went through and how I dealt with it, and hopefully that they can learn from that. And I know some of those friends will just don't want to know. And that to me is the same, like I'm open if you want to chat about it. Then I've got a couple of my best friends where we just talk openly about it.
Yeah, cool.
You know, one of my best mates at the moment, he's made some major changes in the last couple of weeks. So I'm actually going to make an introduction to yourself as well.
Awesome.
And yeah, well, actually one of my best mates, and we were talking about this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, same age as me. He's over in Perth. And right now he's just like, fuck it, I'm sick of doing what I'm doing. He's making a shitload of money in a business over here, but he goes, I hate it. His son's over here.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've got to change it.
Yeah.
And made that decision last week to do that. And I'm like,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, good on, yeah, but also, but it's just not it. But I got your back, and it's going to be the best decision you're going to make it. It's going to be hard. There's going to be challenges, but fuck it, we've got one life, you know. Like, buddy, you can either just keep doing what you're doing, or you know, just change it. So, so I'm real proud of him for doing that as well. And I think because we've shared each other's journeys for so long, it's sort of made that easier. So my hands are just going to do it.
Yeah, no, all good. And okay, so now. Okay, let's get back into sales and what you're expert at.
Thank you.
We'll give you a break.
Let me just take it out of this.
So you started your second consultancy. What made you decide to get back into that, doing it again, give it another crack?
Same reason as first time. Look, there's a couple of reasons. A lot of it again has been a couple of roles over the last few years that probably weren't right for me, and the leadership wasn't right for me. A lot of them have been quite sort of new business focused, whereas in my previous role and the one that I've kind of become quite a senior position, I own my market. And you know, so I've gone sort of from there to starting all over again. I think that's probably, if I look back on that, it's probably played a big part on the confidence as well. It's like I shouldn't be doing this shit. I've done this before. I'm more senior than this. Not that I'm more senior, but I'm not saying that I'm better than this. Which I am, if you know what I mean. So I had a few roles there, and the leadership as well. A couple of these organisations were just I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But you know, it's one thing I've learned as a leader. It's not the sort of leader I want to be.
Cool.
And even with a couple of quite large businesses, it's what tends to happen in leadership roles and within sales and in some industries is that generally the top salespeople generally become sales managers, and most top salespeople are generally quite selfish. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish. It's all about you get to where you are because you get out there, you grow and you hustle, you build those networks. But once you go to start leading people, it's quite a different dynamic. And I think a lot of those leaders have that, well, I've done it, you should be doing this, but there's empathy, it's understanding where that person's strengths and actually guiding them along that. A lot of these larger organisations, actually most organisations, don't invest in sales training. They don't invest in their people, and that's why in sales there's such a high turnover. People generally leave because they're managers. So for sure. So that was one of the reasons, and the other one was, we just bought a house. That Bodhi was coming up a year, and I was like, if I don't do this right now, I'm never going to do it. And Bodhi's my son. He was a really big driver for that. It was creating something he could be proud of, and creating, showing him that Dad could do something really cool, create something really cool. We'll give it a go anyway. So that was a really big driver of that. And I'd left the role. I did have a plan, but it was the same thing. Just coming out of it like, if I don't do this now, then. So I had a client really lined up and worked with him for about 5 months, and I got a mentor when I started that as well. So she really helped me get very clear on the offering and how it's different from others. Because one thing I really struggled with the first time was I didn't want to be known as a sales coach or just a consultant, because the thing is with me in sales is I get it. I can get it from a people point of view, from a lead generation point of view, from a technology point of view. I can go and I can ask a lot of questions. I can go, okay, we need to fix that, fix this. So what kept coming up is we sort of we did a diagram, and we had the thing in the middle, and then we had all different parts of it. What we came up with is taking a 360 approach to sales and bringing in whatever offering or offerings that you need to actually help build your business, whether it be. And the funny thing that come out of it, especially around the sales recruitment, every meeting I've had, people were saying to me, do you know any good salespeople, any good recruiters? And I'm like, and a lot of them were saying, like, we hate dealing with recruiters, and I'm sorry for all my recruiter friends. This is not a dig at all.
Yeah.
And obviously, my experience had been that as well, because there's a few companies that I've dealt with over the years that are just painful.
Yeah.
So I had a good chat to a good mate of mine, Brian Keegan from Sprout, New Zealand. Yeah, so we'd come up with the 360-degree model, which was as I said a wee bit earlier, so we put down a circle in the middle, and then around it we just did all the different offerings and that. And come up the 360-degree sales approach. Yeah. And just, bringing in whatever approaches that you need. And within a lot of organisations, to grow their sales, it's never just one thing. Yeah. There's always a number of different areas that are needed help. One's people, one's leadership, one's the lead generation part of it. Like you could have one of your sales team that are going out and saying a completely different thing from what the business actually does. Yeah. And generally, sometimes that can be because they've got a sales manager that's either pushing them, or secondly, they don't give a shit, or thirdly, they just don't have a lot of confidence. So there's a number of things that could be happening. Yeah. And the cost of the business of that is far greater than investing in coaching and training and stuff like that. And how the sales recruitment come out of it was a lot of people had actually asked me plenty of times, do you know any good salespeople on that? And I said, our experience with salespeople is, with recruiters, has been a bit painful. And I said, yes, I can agree with that. Yeah. Sorry to all of my recruiter friends. So I partnered with a good mate of mine, Brian Keegan from Sprout New Zealand. Yep. And we'd come up with a sales recruitment model where their team would do basically do a lot of the work on it. But once we got down to the hiring the final people, then I'd get involved in that questioning. Recruiter's going to ask these questions. The salesperson's going to come from this angle. Yeah. And then what we'd build into that is coaching for the first 3 months for 2 hours every month with that person. So what it does, it gives me the opportunity to sit down and actually work through that with them to find out where they're really at, and then actually build a better relationship with the business owner. Because the more I build a relationship with the business owner, the more I'm going to understand about their business and what other areas I can actually help them with. So a lot of it has actually evolved as I've gone along as well. Yeah. From the CRM, the technology point of view, because that is having more of an impact of how a business is run now is through the CRM. So things have evolved out of it, but it was really going back to my mentor. She really helped me get really clear on how that looks. So things are growing. Things are still growing. So it's been probably about 6 months I've been in the business. I've had my first client, which is pretty much full time with for the first wee while. And you look at some things are going really well, and other things are just taking time. So
just back on that, where you talked about you're too senior maybe for your previous role. Was it around being too senior? Is the terminology maybe that you were no longer growing as a person? Was it around that?
There was a couple of things. So no longer growing as a person, because I was just in a few of the roles just cold calling. Yeah. So that was one part of it, and secondly, I saw where they needed to change, and they generally would be like, no, we're just going to stick with what we're doing because this sort of works. And there was a couple of majors that were just sort of mind-blowingly stupid of how, really old school type of running like a team, like it's really old school, and I just didn't get it. Okay. And I'm not one to sit there and take shit and go, you just need to do the same thing. And I'd come out of a role just because of that. Yeah. Had a new leader come on and just sort of go on this, and I'm like, we're doing all this. What do we do? What do we do differently here? Yeah. Because we've done all this sort of stuff here. Why don't we invest in doing this? Because this is going to be a cheaper way to generate opportunities and do that. Oh, no, we're just going to do this because no budget's like. So there's a lot of that. Yeah. And it's like, just going up against a brick wall, and, so that's, so there are a couple of reasons for that.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, and then so, as we sort of wrap up, people are almost spend an hour now. Went pretty fast.
About 10 minutes on sales.
Well, back on that, so with your company now and the way that you building it through and it's only still in its infancy. How do you see that company evolving? If you could say, this is what I want it to be like, do you have a vision for that, or is it for you just a continual growth thing?
No. So for me, one thing when I started the business is I don't want to assume what the market needs. I don't want to go out there and go, here's an offering, and the business is going to roll in. What I've done is I've got about 3 strategic partnerships that I'm working with. Yeah. I'm trialing stuff out, I'm seeing what works and seeing what the market actually wants. Yeah. When I've gone in to see prospects and clients, we've sat down and they see merit in it because I'm looking at a few different offerings. Yeah. And I've got a couple that are looking at 2 to 3 different offerings. Yeah. What I'm doing is saying, let's start here with this one. Yeah. We'll do this over the first month and then bringing that one into the second month. So I'm taking a bit of a staggered approach to it, but I want to make sure that I get things right. I don't want 30, 40 clients. I want to have a handful that I'm doing great work with, that I'm building a long-term relationship and doing great results. Because one thing I've learned is I don't want to have one client, just working with heaps of clients over 2 or 3 months and that's it. Yeah. I'd rather be part of your business for a long time and then just be seen as that person that you bring in to sort things out when you need to, and then have that long-term stuff, because you've heard that old adage, 80% of your business comes from 20% of your clients. Yeah, that's what I'm going to head towards, because the biggest thing I've learned in sales over the years is I don't want to be working for assholes or working with assholes. Yeah, I've had too many people in the past I've had to sell stuff to, and I'd rather have real relationships and build real value into other people's organisations and actually make a real impact. Because it's more fun that way. Yeah. Rather than somebody coming in and you're like fighting internally and maybe you should do this and maybe you shouldn't have it. I don't want to have that sort of shit. And I'm in my first meetings with everybody I'm dealing with, I'll be very upfront with that. Yeah. And that first meeting's always about today's about seeing if we have synergies, if we're a good fit for each other. And actually, if I can help you. Like I've had a couple of pretty big businesses that I've actually walked away with from in the last few months that I could have done some work with, but I was just like, we could do something here, but it's just too hard. But I know out of that, I'm going to have a good relationship with these guys. Yeah. If an opportunity does come up, I know they'll come back to me. Yeah. But I'd rather have that approach rather than taking on stuff that isn't right for me, because I have taken on a couple of clients that I probably could have added more value in, but it wasn't the right fit for both. And that's been a big learning for me, is the types of clients and the type of work I'm actually doing. So it's cool. It's all learning. Yeah,
yeah. And so from listening to you talk about your business, you take a very holistic approach to that sales process, but also just business in general, I think, from listening to you. When you've gone out to market with that, have you found resistance with people asking, what do you specialise in and things like that? Have you found anyone trying to pigeonhole you into something?
Excuse me. Sort of yes and no. Yeah. I think probably one of the biggest challenges I've had coming into market is that nobody knows me. Yeah. That's probably been the biggest challenge, is I haven't had money to punch into marketing. Yeah. So that's been the biggest challenge. So when I'm in front of people, straight away they will try and pigeonhole me. But generally what I say is, like, you've got a number of players in the market, and like I won't name who my competitors are. I actually know a few of them. I've actually got good relationships with them. I'd rather build a relationship with my competitors and understand, how you work, because I think there's a lot of business out there for everybody. Yeah. But what I've sort of said, I've had a couple of clients where I've said, look, you've got companies that will help you generate leads. You've got sales coaching. You've got sales consultants. The best way to look at me is I cover all of that, and I'll bring in what you need when you need it. Yeah. Half of that I can do myself, but there's some that I'll bring my strategic partners in. I will manage that process for you. Yeah. So, and I've been talking to some of the largest sales organisations in New Zealand around that, because the funny thing is even with some of the most well-known ones, they've all got the same problems. Yeah. They've all got the same shit going on. Yeah. So it's been interesting selling it, trying to sell into them. Like, I've had a really tough sales organisation, and I walked into the meeting with them, and I generally like to control my meetings, and I just started the meeting, and he turned around to me, and I knew he was going to be hard work. Yeah. And he goes, what did he say? He goes, you're not here to do a fucking discovery. Tell me what you're here. And I just took a bit of a step. I sort of sat back for a second. I sort of expected that anyway. And I thought to myself, excuse the language, fuck you. Yeah. I'm not going to take that. So I just took a bit of a breath, and I said, look, today we're really here just to see if we can actually help you guys. I know this, and I could add a lot of value here, but I don't want to assume that I know everything here. So today's really working out if we can work together. Yeah. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
And he just smiled because he knew what he was doing, and took a bit of a step back. So a few of them that I've spoken to, especially the larger ones, they definitely saw merit in it. Am I working with them now? No, because the way I look at any sort of accounts in new business, if it's a major account like a larger sales organisation, it's no different from any other selling you wares, and these things can either take 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years. It's no different from when I was selling into major accounts back in the Connick and Minolta days. It's just major accounts. It's building that relationship, having 6, 7 meetings with them where they build that trust with you, and then they'll start letting you sort of come into the business. Yeah. Because around the lead generation side, the biggest opportunity I see in that is so many marketing companies are doing lead generation, which is great. The biggest challenge I see right now in the market is that once business owners get those leads, a lot of them don't know how to turn that into a sale. A lot of them don't know how to actually get on the phone and turn it into a sale. So I think there's a real gap in the market just with that. Yeah. And I've got a strategic partner that I'm working with at the moment that he said the same thing. So it's like, how can we sort of bridge that gap? Yeah. And it's sort of, and what I've been looking at is me, I guess, being that conduit and creating sort of something out of that. Because one thing I've learned within the business, I just need to become known in a niche, specialise in one area, and just what I've done in the past is fucking own it. Yeah, cool. So I've got a few things that I'm working on that are, it's going to take time, but I'm getting very clear on that. Yeah. It's just timing. Yeah. And but I'm very clear on it. I know what I'm going to do to build that, and there's a number of other things that I've been doing over the last 6, 7 months, especially around the content. Has been a really interesting journey because there's a lot of opportunities that are coming out of that. Yeah. And it's helped me get really clear on what the market likes and what they don't like. Yeah. And I found, just being myself and being authentic and calling shit how it is, especially around sales, I think it seems to be working. I've had a few opportunities to come out to speak and stuff like that, which is cool. So, but it's also reaffirmed for me that I'm actually going down that right path. Yeah. And actually stick with what I'm doing. Yeah. Just stick with the approach that I have. Yeah. And so that's been a real big learning for me as well. Yeah. And that's sort of been really my marketing tool, is just getting out and doing that as well. Yeah, cool. All right. So my last question around your sales and your business is about the 3 things that you're going to focus on moving forward. What are, to put you on the spot, what are your plans for the long-term growth? What are the 3 things you think is most important for you right now? For me right now, the 3 things. So number 1 is I'm about to come into quite a senior leadership role within quite a large organisation, and I'll be heading up their software for the country. Yep. So I've really had nobody in there sort of doing that, and I'm quite excited about this. Because it hasn't been, nobody's really taken the bull by the horns with it. Within the industry as well, I'm going to be incorporating a lot of the stuff that I've built within my own business, and that's really exciting. And the thing about it is, I just don't care now. It's not that I don't care about putting myself out there, but I think with this business, because nobody else is doing it within this industry, is I'm just going to get out there and just apply what I've learned in my business and just put it out there. And I've got ideas around how we do that. So for me, that first one is actually be the best leader I can. Yeah. Because I'm becoming into a very strategic leadership role. Cool. I'll be working with all the sales teams, so they won't be reporting directly to me, but I'll be helping all of them sell all their other products. It's a team nationally, so it's been the best leader that I can. Really work on doing those results, creating some really, really cool results. And essentially I'm going to look at that as my first sort of major client, and have the best impact I can within this organisation. Cool. So that's really going to be the first one, because the learnings I'll get from this I'll apply to the business and vice versa. I think they'll work together. And so that's the first part of it. The second one is, I actually wrote this down too. The second one is to, with the business, get one market, get out and fucking own it. I mean, really, really own it. And that ties into that third part. So there's something that I'm pretty passionate about. A bit of a side project that I've been working on is around Maori and Pacifica. I don't want to say too much about it at the moment, because I'm in the process of doing some content around this. This is a bit of a passion project I've had for about 5 years now.
Cool.
And I've just got some funding okay to do that content. And it's really around, I guess, what we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
Just highlighting some Maori and Pacifica that are doing some really cool things. So others that are like me that are wanting to get into business, and from the youth point of view, have somebody to look up to, have other Maori and Pacifica people that they can look up to and go, fuck, you've done this and you've done that, and talk to them about their process and that side of it, and shine a bit of a light on people that are actually doing some really cool things.
Yeah.
And potentially on the back of that, create a bit of a network around that. And it's really highlighting it because I just don't think there's enough of that.
Yeah.
All the shit you see in the media is all around, just shit. It's all shit.
Yeah.
So, around the Maori Pacifica side, I really want to showcase people that are doing really cool stuff.
Yeah.
With you and I just talking over the last couple of weeks, and some of the other Maori business owners that I've been talking over the last week. Well, the thing I love about it is that we're all very genuine and wanting to help each other. It's not what I feel about this space, and because I'm Ngāi Tahu, and as the older that I've got, this is becoming more important to me. And actually to want to try and have a bit of an impact in any way that I can. If I can do it this way, then cool.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I've found over the last month, connecting with yourself and a few others, is that we're all genuinely wanting to make an impact, and I think together we're all stronger.
Yeah.
The more we can do stuff to help, the better. The more we can get together, because I don't see it as competitive. I think we've got a similar vision, but we've got all of our own strengths around how we can, how we can help, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So that's the last part of it, because I think that keeps coming up for me. I think we shared this last week, is sales technology Māori, and it's going to be moulding all three together, however it may happen. I don't have a specific plan. I don't need to have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm just working on things right now. So the role I'm going to is software technology, sales part out. The Māori side of it, and I'm working with a few people at the moment that have got some really cool offerings in the market that nobody else is doing. Yeah. So there's a few that I'm looking at actually helping them grow right now. Yeah. A couple of them that haven't been seen in New Zealand and potentially worldwide. So it'll be highlighting, stuff like that. Yeah. So there's things that are happening in the background, and that'll keep going. Yeah. This side of it, I'll just do it on the side, keep doing what I'm doing with the content. Yeah. The whole point of that content has never been about me trying to sell shit online or sell me. It's about trying to add value. So I've been very mindful every time I've gone online is that I'm adding something to the audience and making sure that I'm adding something of value, not just doing it for the hell of doing it. Yeah. And I think I've got to the point now where I'm not worried about. It's not that I'm not worried about what people think. Yeah. Actually, no, I don't really care what people. Yeah. If people don't like me or whatever, then they don't have. They don't have to watch. They don't have to watch it. Yeah. But if there's anybody that can help through that journey, and if they hear some of the learnings, then cool. I can again, talking about that content, I could talk about all the wins that I've had in my sales career. The money of I've had some major wins and had, but. Anybody can talk about that shit. Yeah. I've been talking about some of the losses that I've had, but what I've learned from that, and then how I've applied it to that next part. Because don't get me wrong, whatever I'm doing and come to anything, I'm super competitive. Yeah. I will aim to get in, and like I said, man, I did pretty well in my one of my previous roles. I had 55% of the market because I'll get in, I want to own it. Yes. And it's no different from whatever else I'm doing. So there's that. Cool. I guess getting back to that earlier conversation around league, that's that competitive nature in me. Yeah. I'll just sort of bring it out into life and into my career. But like it's in a good way though as well. I don't like losing. No. So if I'm working on deals, I guess that's a big part of why I've created the business, because I've just learned to uncover every angle to win deals. Look at every possible outcome and solution. Yeah. It's like a game of chess. Yeah. I look at it exactly the same way within sales and with my clients. Is we'll have a look at this, but I'm also looking at this area here. I'm looking at certain strategic partners that you can partner with, certain different areas, and doing some other content and things that people just won't think about. Because if we all do the same shit that everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same result. And coming into this role, I really want to turn that on its head, because we've got nothing to lose. Yeah, exactly. There's a perception about certain industries, so let's just front foot it,
Yeah.
and just change it. Who cares? We don't even have to lose. I mean, what are people going to say? Like, I don't like it. Fine, don't watch it. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, cool.
But it's like I said, it's been learning. It's been that journey.
Yeah.
But part of that journey is, even coming into the last couple of months is, having these opportunities to talk on podcasts, man, I'm fucking pretty humbled about.
Yeah.
Pretty humbled that somebody want to interview me. But more of this stuff is sort of starting to come up, and it's there's a lot of other genuine people and networks that you can start working with that are more than happy to help you along your journey, and vice versa. So that's been a really cool thing that's come out of this journey and that as well. So right now there's a wee pivot happening with the business, but that's my passion. That's always going to be there, and there's some cool things in the pipeline.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm very much one. I don't want to talk too much about shit because I'd rather just go and do it and then talk about it afterwards. Yeah. Because then you make yourself accountable, way.
Yeah.
Which you pretty much have. So.
Nah, good. And look, the last thing I want to touch on, and I think maybe I probably shouldn't have left it to last because it might go on. Yeah. Bodhi, tell me how that changed life.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me how that, and how that, not just life, but business too, in the way you look at it.
Oh, wow. I love coming home and seeing my boy.
Yeah.
He's added such a wicked dynamic to our lives. And a family, man. He's just the coolest kid. Yeah. And I say that because he's my own kid, but he's, he just turned 2 a wee while ago, and, coming home, I can see he's got my stubbornness, and he's just solid little kid. He's quite staunch, but what I love about him, he's got a real big heart behind that as well. So I love seeing him growing, and I love seeing him learning and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But I love seeing that stubbornness as well, because my partner's like, fuck, that's from you, that's all you. So, but he's, he's a great kid, a lovely natured kid. So just made me so happy, and I've always wanted to be a father. Yeah. I think one thing with our real father leaving, that's something once I'm going to be the best dad I can be. Yep. Ever since I was little, that's what I've always wanted to do. Yeah. But for me, it's about having the right partner and that right partner in crime for life. Yeah. And Mel, she's an amazing mum. She's running her business, looking after Bodhi. Even before she gave birth, she's still working and doing orders and stuff like that. Yeah. So she's an amazing lady, an amazing mum. Yeah. And and thankful that she's doing really well with her business, because that's been really helpful just with this wee journey as well. So. A couple of months ago when things were getting pretty tough, I found I wasn't being present with my son and with Mel, and I just had to change it because it's unfair on them. Yeah. So it's definitely given me that purpose, and definitely given me that why. Yeah. Give me that drive. Cool. One of the things I've always been coming up with for years is do what I want, how I want, when I want, with who I want. Not even worry about the money, and that's what we're heading to. That's that journey we're heading on. But. Oh man, Bodhi's awesome. So I love being a dad. Yeah. And we'll start working on that second one. Yeah. Yeah. No, and I'm getting older. I'm going to be that granddad dad. Yeah. I'm going to be that granddad dad, and that hair's getting grayer. So I really want to, get another one, and get Bodhi, have a wee brother or sister for him to look after. So man, I fucking love being a dad.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, it's been about an hour 20 or so now, so thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome, man.
Bro, thank you very much, and thank you very much for listening.
Cool.
All
right, cheers, bro.
Cheers, mate.